How do you define insanity? The wise man responded by saying, it is to continue to do the same thing the same way over and over again, but expecting a different result. This is Leaders Arise with Demola Awoyele. Thank you for joining me on today's episode of this life-changing broadcast. We have been discussing the secrets of an amazing year. And I put that secret in plural because there is no one secret to success. Success is a function of a few secrets. Just like in making a good meal, there is no one ingredient that makes a correct meal. Most powerful, tasteful meals are products of a few ingredients. And in this series, I would be releasing into your hands those ingredients that would make for an amazing year. And today, we will continue the series by looking at what I've titled, Do Something New. Let me say it again, do something new. There are two things I want to tell you as far as having a new year is concerned. Somebody has rightly said that there is nothing new about the year if you are not new. So write down this statement, new year, new me, new things. Because what will make the year to be new for you is not just that the calendar has changed from 20 to 21, 2020 to 2021, but that something has changed about you and that something has changed around you. So I will begin by saying that for year 2021, for the new year, for the year we're about to enter, to really be new for you, you have got to be a new person. That's the first leg of my discussion this morning or today, depending on the time you are streaming this video from. There is no new year without a new you. In fact, some people, they will keep repeating their old years. Why? Nothing has changed about them. Jesus said you must not put a new wine in an old wineskin, because when you do that, the new wine will burst the wineskin and both the wine and the wineskin would be destroyed. So the new year is like the new wine. You are like the wineskin. You need to be a new wineskin for you to experience the new year, the new wine. The wine talks about experience. Experience with God, experience with the Holy Spirit. And God is saying for the year to be really new for you, you have got to be a new person. You have got to be a new person. You can't enter a new year with an old you. You know, as this year is rounding up and the new year is at the corner, some of us want to change a lot of things around. You want to change your apartment. You want to repaint your house. You want to change the setting of your chairs and all that in the sitting room. You want to change so many things. Some people want to buy a new cloth. I can't afford to enter the new year with these old clothes. But that's people that are crazy about clothes anyway. But I know you want to do something. Some people want to get a new phone. Some people want to get a new car. They want to just do something new. But as wonderful as those things are, those are externals. Those are cosmetics. That you got something new does not make you new. That you got something new does not make the year new, except if the new things you got are supposed to make you new. So the foundational requirement for a new year is that a new you must emerge. A new you spiritually, a new you mentally, a new you in your attitude and outlook or approach to life. And that's why between now and the next 2 weeks, as this year rounds up, Go on a journey of personal transformation, because personal transformation is the key to external transformation. Until you are transformed, your environment or your life or year cannot be transformed. No wonder Romans chapter 12 verse 1 to 2 says, be not conformed to this world, but you be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So when you are changed, things will change around you. When you are changed, the year will truly be a new year. So I want to encourage you today, the next couple of days before this year is over, can you embark on a journey of personal transformation? Don't just breeze into year 2021 the same way you are. And I'm not just talking to some people, I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to myself inclusive, because there are massive things, amazing things God has lined up for year 2021. But for us to feature in that future, we have got to ensure that we emerge into a new person. Emerge into a new person. That's a powerful word. Emerge. Emerge. When you talk about emergence, emergence is not first external. Emergence is internal. It must be inside out. It must be inside out. It must be inside out. You must change something on your inside. You must change the way you think. You must change your attitude. You must change your mindset. You must become someone new. For example, if you are not born again, for instance, you can't say you are entering year 2021 without being born again. That can't work. It won't work. So for that kind of person, the first place to begin is to get born again, to become a new person. Because if any man is in Christ, he is a new creature. 2 Corinthians 5:17 is a new creation. All things have passed away and all things have become new. Why? Because the man is in Christ. Because he's new now. He's new. So everything becomes new. He's new because everything becomes new because he's new. The year becomes new because he's new. So it is your personal transformation that is the key to external transformation. So I give you that charge today. The next couple of days before year 2020 is over, embark on a journey of personal transformation. Because there cannot be a new year without a new you. And very quickly, the second leg of this teaching is to do something new. The first statement was be somebody new. Because we are human beings before we are human doings. What we do must be a function of who we are. You can't be doing what is not consistent with who you are. So the focus first is on you. When you are transformed, you will lead transformation. We are human beings, not human doings. It is who we become that will determine how we behave. Our behavior does not affect our becoming. Our becoming affects our behavior. So that's the first leg. The second leg is to do something new. That was why I began by saying that to continue to do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is another definition of insanity. And I beg to say that quite a number of people are insane today. They might not be the psychiatric, but from that definition, it means that they have been doing the same thing over and over again. Listen to me, if you repeat the practice of year 2020, year 2021, you will have exactly or even worse of experience that you have or you are having in year 2020. There's no magic about that. And it's not the devil. Some are saying, my life has not changed. Have you changed your practices? Because your practice is what determines your manifestation. You can't be practicing wrongly and expect to have the right results. So you have got to change what you do. So another assignment I want to give you is to sit down with yourself and analyze. One of the disservice you can do to yourself is to breeze into year 2021 without sitting down and reviewing year 2020. In fact, I believe strongly that everybody should review year 2020 because it's a kind of year that is so peculiar in the history of mankind. The pandemic and all of that. You can't just enter 2021 like that. Particularly when we're having a year 2020 that was so spectacular and unusual. So your assignment is to review your year 2020. And for some of you to take hours, it will take days. You will review the event of year 2020. How have you responded to the pandemic? What has the pandemic taught you? What mistakes did you make in year 2020? What are the things you did that worked that you need to do more in year 2021? What are the things that you did that did not work? What are the things you failed to do that you were supposed to do? What are the mistakes you made? What are the people you saw that you shouldn't have seen? What are the people you did not see that you were supposed to see? What are the things that you engaged in that determined your outcome in year 2020? And please stop blaming the pandemic. I'm sorry to say that. Am I not empathetic? I am, because everybody was affected one way or the other by the pandemic. Don't think that the only reason why 2020 was like this is because of the pandemic. No. You know, for some people, even if the pandemic was not there, they would still not have made it in year 2020. I know what I'm saying. Because if you didn't make it in year 2029, permit my usage of word, in year 2028, and this is year 2020, you still didn't make it and you are blaming it on pandemic. Was there pandemic in 2029? No. Were there lockdown in year 2027, 2026, 2017, 2018? No. Even though the pandemic might have had its own effect on your productivity or your results in year 2020, for you to summarize the reason for your performance only on the pandemic is to not be truthful to yourself. Because by the time we enter year 2021, we are praying that we won't have to deal with the pandemic again. We are praying so what will now become of your life? And that's when in reality we don't know a lot of people that the pandemic was not my problem in the first place. That I couldn't get a job. It wasn't because of the pandemic. That my church did not grow. It wasn't because of the lockdown. That my relationship didn't work out. It's not because of the lockdown. It's actually, in fact, crises actually come to review the quality of our lives. Permit my coinage. Some of you think that the crisis is a problem. Crisis is not meant to be a problem. Like the story that is parable Jesus gave us in Luke, is it 24 now? Matthew 24. The parable of the man of the builder of the house. He said, "He that hear this saying of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a man that built this house on a rock, and the storm came, the wind came, and what of you? And beat vehemently on the building, and it did not move. It stood strong. Another man built it on his own on the sand, and the wind came, the storm came, and beat on the house, and great was its fall." The same crisis befell the house built on the rock and the house built on the sand. But look at their outcome. One was standing strong, another was falling. Do you know why? The reason is not the crisis or the storm or the wind. The difference was the material with which they used to build their lives. Perhaps the pandemic has come to review whether you are a leader or not. Perhaps the pandemic has come to review whether you are somebody who has built his faith in God. Perhaps the pandemic has come to review how lasting the principle with which you are running your life and business is. So the pandemic is never your problem. The pandemic actually came to try out your principle. There are some principles that can't stand the test of time. And so if that is what happened to you in year 2020, you need to sit down and review. Now perhaps the pandemic or lockdown or EndSARS protest or Black Lives Matter protest in your country or wherever you're streaming from may not actually have been your problem. They might have revealed your problem. They might have revealed your quality. They might have contributed one way or the other to your result. But don't make the mistake of thinking that the pandemic or what have you is the only reason why your result was like this in year 2020. If you think like that, your year 2021 will look exactly or even worse than year 2020. So you've got to sit down and review year 2020. I know a lot of people do that, organizations do that. That's what they do in retreat. In retreat, it's not only church that we do retreats. In my company in those days, in fact, when I was still working secularly, at the end of the year, like September, we do overnight meetings, retreats. We review our operations. In fact, that's what we're doing consistently anyway, maybe every quarter or something. But when the year is going to an end like this, our boss will come, we review our operation, we see where we needed to adjust and all of that. That's how successful businesses are built. That's how successful lives are built. You've got to sit down and review and be truthful to yourself. Be brutal. Don't be sentimental. Am I saying you should crucify yourself and beat yourself and condemn yourself? No. But I'm saying treat yourself gently, but be factual. Be sincere. Alright? Be hard on yourself, on your practices. Say, Demola, you didn't do well here. You've got to do well in year 2020. Forgive yourself anyway, because you are not perfect, neither am I. All of us are journeying towards perfection, but you have got to be sincere. I didn't do well. I overslept. I was so fearful. I allowed the pandemic to shut down my creativity and my initiative. Alright, I concluded I couldn't get a job because of the pandemic, not knowing that there were jobs out there. At least if I could press into them. Alright, so review how that year has been. Ask yourself, what did I do right that I need to continue in year 2021? What didn't I do right that I need to improve or stop it outrightly? What did I fail to do because of one reason or the other that I must ensure that in year 2021 I do those things? Because that's the beginning of wisdom in changing your practices for an amazing new year. Then you've got to ask yourself, what do I want to do in year 2021? What are my action plans? What do I want to do differently? What relationships do I need in my life to advance my life? What do I need to learn? You see, you must enter that year with a mindset of something new, because there is no new year without new you. There is no new year without new practices. Intentionally plan to do something new. Whether in your work with the Lord, whether in your business, try what you have never tried before. In fact, I want to charge somebody today. Try that thing you have always been afraid of trying. Are there things you were thinking of doing in year 2020, you were just so afraid of doing them that you couldn't do them? This is year 2021 we are about entering into. I dare you to dare those things. Dare the impossible. Do something new. Get off familiar grounds and move to unfamiliar grounds. I've always taught in my leadership meetings that there are 3 zones that a man can live in. You can live in what I call a comfort zone. You can live in a coasting zone, or you can live in a challenge zone. I say that again. You can live in a comfort zone, you can live in a coasting zone, or you can live in a challenge zone. Those who live in a comfort zone, these are those who are comfortable with the past. They are comfortable with failures. They are comfortable. In fact, for some of them, they have stopped doing what was working. They just stay comfortable. They didn't want to do anything new. Comfort zone. While the people that operate in the coasting zone, they are only living for today. They only coast along. They are just getting by. You can't say they have failed. You can't say they have succeeded. They are in between failure and success. They are just coasting now. Let's say how body they inside cloth. How life with a pusher. They are coasting. But God doesn't want you to live in the coasting zone. Because mediocres live in coasting zone. Failures live in comfort zone. Mediocres live in coasting zone. But successful people, great leaders, they live in the challenge zone. The challenge zone is a zone where you do what you have not done before, where you try new things, where you give yourself a challenge to do what you have not done before, to try what you have not tried before, to go to places you have never gone before, to meet people you have never met before, to do something much more than you have ever done before. As the name implies, challenge zone. You give yourself a challenge. You do more than you have done before. You do something that you have always been afraid of doing, and you face it headlong. Just like David faced Goliath, he took up that challenge, he faced Goliath, then of course a champion emerged out of him. I know that in year 2021 a champion will emerge out of you. Something amazing, something glorious, something unprecedented will happen in your life. And for that to happen, don't forget, stop living in the comfort zone, stop living in the coasting zone, start living in the challenge zone by doing what you have never done before. Don't forget, a new year doesn't just happen. You are going to make it happen by becoming a new person and by engaging in new practices. As you pay attention to this life-changing teaching that I've shared with you today, I pray for you that your 2021 will be truly amazing. Not only that, this year 2020 we end for you on a note of amazing. I look forward to hearing from you. Get across to me your questions, your feedbacks, your comments, or maybe your testimony as to how this Leaders Arise podcast has been a blessing to you, because we have a lot to do together in year 2021. Till I meet with you again on the next episode of Leaders Arise, go right there, prepare for an amazing year 2021, because something great and amazing awaits you. God bless you, and bye for now.